What's happening, guys? So this video is going to be my 25,000 mile review of my 2022 Ram 1500. It's a Hemi, it's got the e-torque, and it's a quad cab. So what are my thoughts on this thing? Well, let's dive into it. First of all, in terms of ride quality, the thing is top notch. It's one of the reasons why I bought the truck. It's very solid sounding when you close the doors. It's a really nice place to spend time. Now, that's not to say that it's not without its, we'll call them quirks, inconsistencies, if you will. First of all, fuel quality sensitivity. This is one thing that I've noticed with this truck, even before I put a tune and air intake system or re-geared it. Yes, I've done all of that, but the thing is that even before I did, when the truck was bone stock, and even still seemingly to this day, the truck is very sensitive to fuel quality. Put in cheap gas and the truck will, well, it'll penalize you with being basically sluggish. And this was something that I didn't really quite pick up on until maybe about 10 or 15,000 miles into it. Typically, I put better quality fuel in the truck, so nothing really to worry about there. But after I started playing around with the truck and, well, experimenting with different fuels, I found that if I did run anything less than 89 octane, well, the truck really didn't like that. It prefers to run 89 or 93, and it really likes the top tier stuff, you know, your typical big brand gasoline. So know that coming into it. And speaking of fuel, let's talk about fuel mileage. One of the things that I've noticed about my DT is that in general, it typically gets worse fuel economy than my Classic that I have as a work truck. Now you may say, well, there's driving styles that come with that and air pressures and tire sizes and everything else. But either way you want to swing it, my DT, which is my 2022. The newer models are called DT, the olders are called DS or Classic, just so that we've got some names to know here. It does consistently get at least a couple of points worse in terms of fuel economy. So I've tried to figure that out. I've tried to source it, maybe science through it with air pressure, tire sizes, or whatever. But in general, it does get worse fuel economy. So just know that coming into it. If you're coming from a Classic, your DT might get worse fuel economy. Or it could get better. I guess it just all depends on how you're driving them. Now, what about some of those inconsistencies that I was talking about? Well, one of the inconsistencies in terms of, well, technology, and this is an overshadowing issue, by the way, is just how skittish and sketchy the Uconnect system is. This is a Lone Star package with an 8.4-inch Uconnect screen. But the weird thing about it is the Uconnect system seems to be glitchy, and it hasn't gotten any better with an update that the factory did. See, here's what happens. Let's say you get your truck, and you know, if you're watching this video, well, it's 2023, the ending of, and we're coming into 2024, so chances are you either have one of these trucks and you're trying to figure out what's going on with it, or you're thinking about buying a used truck. Well, get ready, because the Uconnect system is probably going to drive you nuts if it does the same thing to you that it's doing to me. You set your skins up and you put in your contacts. Everything works well for a month, 2 months, maybe even longer. And then you get into the truck, you go to drive it, and everything is different. You've set your Uconnect to dark mode, but now it's in light mode, and all of your contacts are missing. And instead of having a red layout, it's in blue. It resets to some odd factory preset, but you go into the Uconnect, and sure enough, your dark setting is still there, but it's clearly a white screen with black lettering, not the other way around. And so you reset everything, wondering what did you do to have this happen, only to have it reset again. Well, this happened before the update, and it's happened after the update, a couple of times at least on each note. So just know that coming into this purchasing experience, or if you own one of these trucks, yes, I'm having the same issue that you're having, and is there a fix for it? I don't know. Dealership doesn't seem to be able to answer that question either, which leads me to the next thing, a couple of other issues that the truck has developed. One is an annoying, let's call it a squeak or a squeal, And it happens at very low RPM, at idle if the truck is in gear, sometimes when it's not in gear. And it seems to happen only when the truck has no load on it. It almost sounds like a heat shield squeaking or what have you, maybe like a tensioner pulley is squeaking. I can't really locate it, but it's a little bit annoying and a little bit embarrassing. It comes and goes, it ebbs, it flows, and if I were to take this thing to a dealership, it would never do it in the flesh, if you will, if a tech was looking at it. So I'm going to have to figure out what in the world is the deal there. The truck runs just fine, scoots, rips, everything. So I don't know. Something's going on there, and I'm going to have to be the one that figures that out. The other weird thing that my truck does is, well, these trucks have electric power steering, and trucks have had this for quite a while. But the weird thing about my truck is that at times, if I turn or if I'm backing out of a driveway and then turn, well, my steering wheel will be crooked and the truck will pull a little bit to typically the left until the centering features and everything else get themselves sorted out and get me going straight down the road with a straight steering wheel. Again, this is one of those things that you can't really duplicate very easily for your dealer to sort out. I mean, I can't really be doing donuts in the parking lot, either front or backwards, to try to make this thing happen for them. They just kind of look at you like you're crazy, and the situation sorts itself out anyway, so call it a quirk. Anyway, guys, I wanted to bring y'all this bit of, I don't know, my experience, at least give you guys a window into what I'm going through with this truck. I guess the question here is, though, after this much time and with those quirks, if you will, would I still buy this truck again? Well, I gotta tell you this. I don't know of a truck that rides better. I don't really know of a truck that handles better. The interior quality is actually really good with this truck. And with the Borla S-type exhaust that I put on the truck, it sounds amazing. But with all that going for it, and really with the performance being what it is, after all the little tweaks and things I've done to this truck in good weather, it will actually run mid-13 second quarter mile times on the factory rubber. So I can't really fault the truck with how it runs, although the way that it runs can be a bit inconsistent, but we talked about that. Would I buy this truck again? At this stage of the game, I would just say this. I would certainly shop. I would look at whatever options are available. Again, with this being the end of 23, the beginning of 24, we're supposed to have those Hurricane inline-six twin turbo engines being available for the Ram. That promises to offer significant power gains over the outgoing Hemi engine. So that would at least catch my attention. But there are some things, primarily technology related, that I would like to see sorted out before I would trade into another Ram. I would probably look at Fords first, then the Ram, and then the field would follow. But I definitely give a Ram another shot. Let's just hope that, well, let's hope they got some of the technology stuff sorted out. And I'll get that squeak thing figured out too. This might take a little time. But with that, guys, post up your experience with your Ram right down there below. Thanks for hanging out with me, and we'll catch you on the next one.